Pardon the weird impromptu layout, but not much I can do. Just make sure it's not too loud. Alright, well, the obvious first starter we should work on is 5Y. And Scizor specific, I do need another column. So you've got the obvious 5Y, 1A, XX, which does 116, requires no swords. It has... I'm in the burst one, but that's okay. You can just rename them. Rename this to burst. Rename this to mid-screen. I'm pretty sure Scizor has... This is a really inefficient way to do this. I should just have the Chrome full screen. Only reason why was whoa. Because I don't want to ignore chat. That's the only reason why I had it that way. So, I mean, I guess I could just use my phone for chat. Because the app lets you do that. Okay. So the PSP, I forget I'm honestly blanking on the PSP on Scizor. It's 4. So it uses 4 and it works when you have 7. I was gonna say there's a lot of these I don't know. Like specifically the Persona, half of the roster except for Akihiko's. Ah, that shifts. Alright. So, if you're gonna spend the stack... it's not worth the stack. At all. If you're gonna waste that much PSP off of 5Y, you might as well just do this combo. Yeah, there's literally nothing better off of 5y than just go into 5yy. And then the stackless 5yy is 1ax for 148. No swords. This needs more PSP because I have to incorporate the fact that I'm using 5y, which has 3. So this uses 7 and works if you have 4. Nice. I actually love this team. Then again, I always start with like the auto shift combo. Which is that. Alright. Before the 6yx, how much PSP am I at? 5y has 3 and 6aa has 4, so I'm at 7. I'm at 7 before the 6yx. Which means I need at least 4 available. Well, no, I need at least 8. Yeah. And this uses 6y. What is 6yx again? 6yx is 4. So 3, 4, 4, 12. So it uses 11 plus 12, which is basically 23. And it does shift from full PSP. There's also the other one you can do, and this requires you to do the Poke combo. And you can do... Which technically you can consider that optimal. But I think if you just have to go for raw damage, and you do this, it's best to micro walk grab. Yeah, it does 186. Same damage, actually. Alright, so you got 5yy, 6aa. Because I think that's the max you can get. If the move is going to force a shift. Because that would do 186 and shift. 176. 180. 167. Although I can go for the hard one. Which is never worth it, but... Because I'm pretty sure when we throw a 5yy in front... Yeah, the JX is just going to straight up shift, so it's not even worth it to go for that. Well, 5yy, 6aa gives you 7, so you need 8. Oh yeah, then this has to be 12. Because then it would force the 6yx to shift. Yeah. Okay, I'm dumb. It says 19, it does shift from full PSP, but you shouldn't go for it. Then the other one we'll add is 5yy, yy. This is that confirm you should always almost never be ready for, but it exists. There's also this, which is weird. Because for some reason, if you get JA that close to the ground, it's plus 11. Alright, I'm blanking. Oh, it is mutual situation, okay. Alright, so what if whatever you're gonna do after 5AA is gonna shift? What is your best bet? 148. 145, so that's not worth it. Shoot, this is kind of difficult to think about. Like, if whatever you're gonna do, whatever you're gonna cancel 5AA into is gonna shift, what would you go for? Because that's 148, that's pretty much optimal. It's either that or you could go for the stupid just frame, which would technically do more. If I can get it. That was the sound effect. Oh, that was it. Wow. Because see, that does 94 in 6 hits. But the one before it did 7 and it did 116. I'll know if I get it by when the Metal Claw part finish it. Because it adds a third hit to the initial Metal Claw part. So that's there it is. So it has to be at some point before Metal Claw finishes. Is this Bullet Dance? Honestly, I forget what this song sounds like. No, it is, okay. Okay, yeah, if I got to that part, I would have recognized it. Alright, it's 1A. So, yeah, this is your optimal. It does 148. Yeah, you can also do 2A. You can do 1 or 2A. Does not require you to have a stack, so that's a plus. And it works when you have 4 PSP left, because the only PSP is going to be from Jab and Scizor. Because it uses 7 PSP. Okay, that's done with 5Y. So we have 6YX. What's raw 6YX? I've never really been sure what to do off of it. Oh, okay, yeah, that is not worth it. Like, if you could somehow get a drop off of this, that'd be the best. That'd be your best bet. Like that. I didn't know that was gonna work. How did I do it? Ah. I know I drifted back. Ah, it was almost it. I just don't know how many hits of JY I got. Not that. Isn't that burst only? Yeah. Nah. Really not worth it, but it exists. I am not super jumping. That's waiting too long. Man, how did I do it? Really not in it right now. There it is. You have to delay the JX. That did more, I think. Ah! This is really weird. You have to like drift back. Get all 3 hits of JY. Something, yeah, it's like that. Wonder if this makes these more consistent to delay the JX. See, that's the only issue, is that you might delay it too long to the point where you get actually nothing. There it is. Six YX, 1A, JY3, delay X1, 1A, Y plus B, 198. Requires a stack. It works. What 6YX has 4, and 1A has 3, so it works when you have 8 PSP. And it uses 7? Yeah, it uses 7, well, it uses 19. And yes, this actually will shift from 0. Just because it's a bug bite combo, it'll shift from 0. Alright, so then obviously the easy one that everyone else would go for Where this, the only PSP is the 6YX, so you need at least 4. Or 5. You need at least 5, because 6YX is 3, right? It does not need a sword, and it uses... It uses 16, I think? You got extra PSP, you can squeeze it out to 188. Oh crap, I realized, yeah, that combo actually, the JX kick has 3 PSP from what I remember. Yeah, it's got 3 PSP. 6YX has 4. So is that the only thing that's given? No. And... That's 4. Yay, my favorite theme. That's 7. And that's 10. So actually this works when you have... This actually is like a round start combo. Because that uses 11 PSP. So... You got 4, 3, 3. So it uses 10. So the minimum you basically need is 12. Well, it uses 22, I should say. Wow, there's a lot of lag on his jab. Alright, so this technically should be on this. These should all get moved down, then to the next line. And this should be 6YX. Whoa, it's not 7YX, that doesn't exist. Uh, 6YX, 5YY, 1A, Y plus B. And that does 188. So to be fair, you're spending a sword to squeeze out 10 more damage and do something that's extremely hard. But that's me in a nutshell. Alright, 6YX is 4. And 5YY is 3, so I need at least 8 to do this combo. 8 and 7 uses 19, and it auto shifts because Scizor. Okay, I think that's it for 6YX. So that's just 4Y, but 4Y you only get a combo on crit, so 4Y crit. That's normally what I would do if I didn't have any swords. But if you have swords, there you go. Hooray for drop combos. 4Y, 3AA, A, JY, X, R, JY1, X1, 1A, Y plus B. It did 185. It requires a stack, and it does auto shift, obviously. And how much PSP does 4Y have? If I even remember to include it. I did not remember to include it, so let me go and just find it myself. Let me turn off crit so I don't have to launch him all the time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it doesn't have any. I never knew that. I always thought it did for some reason. But then again, you don't get anything off of it. Why would it? Oh, hey, Sam. I'm glad you decided to chat. You get to see what I go through when it comes to playing Scizor. Alright, so it's 1AA has 3. JX has 3 as well. Yeah. So there's 3, 6, 9. So it uses 21, and you need 10 to do it. Yeah, you don't get anything new. Alright. You can do that if you want to keep the phase. I just don't know if that's worth it. Yeah, I would just do that. To answer your question, 6YX is risky, Sam, but it's worth it because it's a 15 frame move, which is the same speed as his jab, so you get a lot more off of it. You don't get anything. Yeah, you don't get anything off of 8Y. 2Y isn't too rewarding unless it crits. When 2Y crits, it's actually super rewarding because you get like a full combo off of it. So 2Y, 1A. Oh yeah. Let me show you that. Okay. Yeah, that means that you get too many hits. There you go. Oh, it does the same damage. What do you mean? I didn't cancel it into anything. I just did it and then landed. Yeah, that's the one in the combo dock. The one that you're talking about. The 252 plus 30. It's really tricky though. Is there anything rewarding out of... Ah, there is a drop combo out of it. Out of 2Y. Yeah, it's because what you're supposed to do is you see how I'm jumping and then doing that hit right before I land. Or missing it completely. again. There we go. I'm just gonna throw this in here because it's not worth it at all, but it is at the same time. I forgot. Oh yeah, Ruby characters are in technically BB tags, so I should have expected this song. This is not worth the sword stack, but because that happens. $151. And there's 9 plus the grab, so 12. And it works when you have 10 PSP. Well, 9 plus the grab would be 21. Alright, 2Y crit is where things get useful. You get 6 AA. Like difficulty color code? Oh, yeah. That's an interesting idea. I like that. Although I feel like that's 201. I feel like I can squeeze more out of this because technically I have PSP to work with. No, it actually does less. No, I can't squeeze more out of this. It's just really hard. It's the one I made a Twitter video about. Shoot, that's gonna... Ah, of course that happens. I hate when that happens. Ah, it happened again. Because it's either you're too high up or you're too low. Where that happens if you're too low. And you're too high up, that happens. Okay. 2Y6AA, 6JR, JY2X, 6YX, 4Y1A, Y plus B. That did 217. Alright, this cell isn't centered. It's okay. You do need stacks. Okay, so 6AA, so that's 4, 8, and JX is 11, so this barely works. Yeah, this barely works anyways. I mean, I know when I made that video, I was like, whoa, this works? And now I realize it barely works. Obviously, if you don't have the PSP or the execution, you can just do the BNB. Okay. 2y, 6AA, 6yx, 4y, 2y, 1a, y plus b. That did 201, requires a single sword. And this is 7 PSP. So it requires 8 and it uses 19. Also, repeat song. I mean, it's a good song, but I don't want to listen to it again. Like, if it was the original version of the song, not this 8-bit remix, then yeah, I wouldn't mind listening to it again. The unfortunate thing is you cannot do the, what's it called? Like, that works if you don't have the PSP for anything else, but you can't do the combo that requires you to have to do this. You can't do that combo off of 2Y. So you have to do this. So walk up grab. 2Y 6AA. Walk grab. That does 180 and works with 4 PSP. 6AA is, well wait, isn't 6AA like 4? Yeah, 6AA is 4, so I need 5 PSP. And it uses 16, and it will shift from 0, but you should just never go for it anyways. I'm not going to include JY because JY is not really a jump in. The only thing I will include is like JY air to airs. So I realize that I'm not scrolling down at all, so you actually can't see anything that I type underneath certain parts. Okay. Also, chat's like literally invisible on this white background known as Chrome. Okay, I think that works. Yeah, this works. Alright. So yeah, I think that's it for Y's. Oh no, hover Y, hover Y. What am I doing? Can't forget hover Y. So we do the general kill combo. Like the first combo listed is always one that'll force a shift. if it's even worth it. The only reason why 5Y doesn't have one that forces a shift is because that forcer shift combo is not worth it. .206. Okay, what theme is this? Nah. Upper Y has 2. So 2, 6, 10. So you need 12 basically. Because technically I'd say 11, but you need 12. Because there's no way there's nothing does 1 PSP in this game. Well, nothing Scizor has does 1 PSP. I think there's a few characters that have something that do 1 PSP, but it's like you have to get a single hit of a move that has multiple hits. Alright, and then... I assume we can include that. I think that's probably... Unless I can somehow get a drop combo off of this, which I doubt it. It's close. Ah. Hey, thank you, Aldrich. Oh, I can't even. Well, actually, yeah, this is like the perfect drop setup. Ah, I got it. It exists. There is a drop combo off of hover Y. I think it's delay. It was delay X, or yeah. Ah. That was like so close to whiffing. There it is. That does 177. I actually want to do a quick cap. I actually want to, like, get this combo real fast. Oh, that worked! Okay. Alright, I need someone to clip that. To an extent, yes. I was gonna say, Aldrich, can you clip that if you're still in the chat? So I don't have to go straight, I don't have to get to my channel to find it. If it'll even let me clip it, because technically I wasn't even on my chat. I say, Aldrich, can you clip that if you're... So then the obvious next hover Y confirm is just your general hit confirm one for 146. And the only PSP on that is X Scizor, which is 4. Yeah. Oh no, this uses 6 because I hover Y. And I need 7 to do it. I forgot to write 1A Y plus B. This should be 8 PSP used, well 20 because it ends in a bug bite. So it works when there's 9 available. But it does shift from full, this does not. I forgot to include the hover Y walk grab. Hover Y 6AA walk grab. I forgot to include that. Surprisingly getting this grab is actually like worth it in situations because it does more damage than any of the shifting follow-ups you could get were. Because that does 184. It uses 18 and it works when I have 7. It does shift from 0. Alright, let me check this. Pause. Hey, it replay. I was gonna say I'm not listening to replays, but that is a good song. Let's see if Aldrich got it for me. Okay. Alright, I need someone to clip that. To an extent, yes. I was gonna say Aldrich, can you clip that if you're still in the chat? Thank you, Aldrich. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. I'm actually going to throw that clip in the document so that if people need a visual of it. You also kind of helped me determine that my audio is super low on the music. Which it's weird because it's up kind of high. I mean, I guess it's because I have the YouTube video super low just so I don't kill my own ears. To be fair, I actually don't intend to be up for too long, and I wanted to at least finish the mid-screen page. Okay, so that should be all the Y's. So now we have 5x as our first x that we have to work with. Which I was gonna say, I think that yeah, there's a drop combo off of 5x. Which with that thing I found, I was gonna say I probably could squeeze more hits of JY out. Unless I'm supposed to do. See, I don't know if this will shift. Yeah. Alright. I keep... Oh, that worked. Okay. So 5x, x for the super jump, jy, x, r, jy, 1, x, 1, 1a, y plus b. That did 191. It did not require a stack, which is one of the few pluses to 5x, is that it does not require a stack to extend. And what is 5x's PSP? Because I honestly forget. 5x has 4, so that's 4, 7, 10. So it requires all 12. And it uses 22. It does shift from start. I forget what the frame data is on 5x. I'm probably just gonna come out and say yeah, because I honestly don't remember. I honestly don't know what the use of 5x is. Like I don't think it low crushes or high crushes. Oh, it does high crush at a certain point, and it's only -4. So I mean, yeah, it's got its use. It also combos at a JX, but you can't get a basketball because there's too much PSP. Unless you miss the kick part. Then you can get a basketball. But then again, I don't remember if 5x combos if you don't get the kick, because the dive kick itself actually isn't that plus, unless it's super close to the ground. So he does duck under highs at like this point in the animation. He can duck under highs. And you do get some okay juggles out of it too. I wonder if the 2Y add-in does more. No, it does less. I was gonna say, because that's a way to make drop combos easier, is you can 2Y instead of going straight in the 5x is frame 19. So it's actually it's as fast as this move is and that move. And even 8x. 8x is the same speed. They're all like all his heavies are here's a side note, if they're not charged, all of his heavies except 2x are 19 frames. 2x is 23, but that's expected. The attack itself is a straight up blow, so you can't just jump it. Okay, so you can also do 5x, 5x, which is a pretty fun combo that exists. Don't tell me that worked. Okay, it doesn't. It's not worth it. Because I know in old Ender that Rara used to use was. After that, you would do this. That's an ender he used to use. But then this is like infinitely better. Scizor's juggles are really cool. Like 5x itself is how much PSP? It's 4 PSP. So 5x is 4 PSP. So it's like what can you get off of it that is going to do a decent amount of damage if you ever get one? Like, unless you can get a single drop, that is, like, if you can get a single drop, you can. That is your optimal at low PSP. Single drops are extremely hard, and I don't know why I'm actually getting them right now. How many hits at JY was I getting? Was I actually getting all the hits? I was, huh? And this requires 8 PSP. And gives out 21. Alright, so if you get a 5x and you literally have no PSP to use, what is your best bet? $145. $159. That was the 159. That's 164. That's interesting. $146. That's not worth it. Why am I have a habit of going for swords. So yeah, that's 164. That's the best right now. That's inconsistent too. 150. Okay, that works. It's kind of weird to do that off of a 5x though. With swords, I think the best would be... Like, that's the best you're going to get for low PSP with swords. Also, fun fact. Besides the fact that that went clear over his head, if your opponent for some reason doesn't block this, you actually can't combo off of it. My dash would come out. But yeah, that works. I just dropped it. Eh. To be fair, I've never heard this one. So yeah, I think swordless is this. Which that's 164, and you get 175 with sword, so it's like, yeah. So that's 164, and that just requires the 5 PSP of the Seismo. Okay, I think that's it for 5X, and now we've got 6X. And to be fair, Hover XX is a thing too. So they're basically the same move. They're just one, like 6XX, 86, Hover XX, 104. That's the only difference. 3 hits, 3 hits, 7 hits, 8. That's, oh no, it just does more damage. I always thought it was more hits. So if you ever get a raw Hover XX or 6XX, you could always do that's an easy drop combo, but that's like the easiest drop combo ever because you're so low to the ground. See, I actually can, if I'm 6XX is like the only benefit that 6XX has is there are certain combos like I believe crit 9X. You can't see if like I'm gonna just scratch that. You actually can get a Hover XX over that. If you get a jump in, it's easier to do 6X. Like 6XX is easier there. That's 126. And that reset, so that's it's got its situational uses. So like let me put this on critical hit settings. So this is a crit 9X, you can't get a Hover XX, I believe. So that's 126, and that's 126. You cannot get a Hover XX out of 8X, no matter how hard you try. So that's one situation where it's actually better. I did that too late. That's the lowest JX I've ever gotten that didn't actually... I know I can squeeze that last hit of JY out. There we go. That's big damage. Alright, 6XX, Hover XX, JY, XR, JYX1, 1A, Y plus B. Does not require swords, requires full PSP, I believe, because 6XX is 4. And those are each 3, so that's 10 right there. So yeah, you do need 12, and it uses 22. Now we gotta find the damage of regular 6XX, just for the people that actually... Okay. See, 223 or 241, take your pick. Alright, so that is the full PSP route. So now this, we have to do the low PSP route, which is JYXR, or JYX1, 1A, Y plus B. Which is just that route. For 202. Or 220. And this requires it requires 8 PSP available, and it uses 19. And if you don't have the PSP to even use JX, then you have to go for that. So this is when all you have is enough PSP to even use it, so when you have 5 PSP available. And this uses 8, I think. God damn it, it keeps going back to this song. It's a weird song. I've always wanted to find something with that, if there's any use for... Alright, so 146 and... It's 164. 146, 164. Alright, so that's it for 6XX. So now we're on 8X crit. Because there's never anything useful off of... 2X just doesn't do anything mid-screen. It's just a hard knockdown. In the corner, you get some good damage. I don't think you can get that off of this. You can do Bug Bite though, if you wanted to. Alright, so 8X, 6XX. It's a repeat song of a song I don't like, so next. This is going to be the hardest one to get a drop off of. Because I can't do any drifting whatsoever. Never mind. You can get a drop off of that. That was 2 JY hits. Well, yeah, I'm always going to go for Bug Bite because I don't like doing the regular combos unless I'm actually forced to. The only, like, basket drop is only good if you can do them. Like, if you can't do them, then just do the normal air route. That's all I would say. This does not require swords. And 8X has how much PSP for? 3 or 4? 8X has 3, okay, so 7, 10, so yeah, this requires 12 PSP. And it uses 22. And it does shift. So if you don't have the, like, in this combo situation, say that I use 8X already, or if I use something that gave me 3 PSP. If I tried to go for the drop combo, that JX would shift there. So, this is a situation where you would just go for the normal. You would just have to go for a normal combo. Which I think JYY would work here. Let me do 8x so that we have 3 PSP on the board. Ah, it does shift. Okay, so just do J. So 8x, 6xx, JY, A. $156. To be fair, that's not bad, and it does keep the phase if you don't have enough PSP for it to force the shift. Because that is 10 PSP. So you need 12, but it doesn't shift. Well, no, if you don't need 12, it doesn't shift. Because minimum PSP to do this is 10, I think. Because that should 3, 4, 3. That's 10, so you need 11 PSP to do it. Well, you need 12 to do it, and it uses 10, but it does not shift. So it's kind of like one of those weird situations. Now, if you don't have any PSP to do anything remotely useful out of 8x, I think you can do 2-way bug bite. Yeah. That's actually better. Whatever. 8x, 2A. 0 PSP, and all you need is the PSP to do 8x. Which is... And it uses 15, and it does shift. Why is that better than the combo that uses more PSP up? That's actually pretty funny. I knew that was a thing. It's really hard, though. That's 162 for two more PSP. It's 162 for 5 PSP, and it shifts. I mean, I can include it. Why not? Okay, make sure it's in Times New Roman 18. 8 and centered. 8x. Hover Y, which is instant hover Y, 1A. Y plus B. There's 162, 0 PSP, and uses... How much did I say you needed to do it? Because it adds 5, so it uses 6. Technically, I should notate all these as 9x. It's just 66Y. So you just press forward twice and then Y as fast as you can. Which that combo is only possible because of instant hover Y. Mainly because of how situational this combo is. It's not that important if you don't want to bother with it. Alright, so now we have to do JX combos. So JX adds 3 PSP. Yes. So JX adds 3 by itself. So that limitates us to... I turn crit off. Yeah, this doesn't work anymore, okay. So I'd have to do... Well, this is a situation where the using the Poke combo would work. So here's 8x. Here's 8x. If I hold forward, if I hold 9 during, if I press 9x and hold it, he moves forward during it. And if you press 7x and hold it, he moves back. I don't know if that's worth it, though. I think that does more than regular grab would in this context. Yeah. And again, I could just do... Okay, I'm not trying for this, and I swear to God if this works. It would. It actually would work off of JX. It's just tricky. I don't know, actually, because it's not looking like I'm able to drift back far enough, especially like a ground hit 1A doesn't like... it's got a completely different launch, so you have to do things differently. There it is. Got it. 165. This requires a stack. And this uses 3, what, 6, 9. It uses 9, so you need 10 to do it. But she doesn't have anything that does 2 PSP, so I can technically just put 12. And it adds 21. I think I might be off the capture. I've been off the capture for a while, actually, when it comes to my text lineup. Okay. Alright, technically that drop is also possible from JX. As is that drop, but I'm not going for that. See, that's a situation where you actually should use 6x because it's a lot easier to get. Because I don't believe you can get hover XX. You see, that did 126. And if I do JX and the 6XX, like just not even trying to go for it. Yeah, it's too hard to get, if it's even possible. So yeah, that exists. JX, 6XX. It actually does more than the combo I just found, so replacing. Three, 4, 3. So yeah, 10. And yeah, okay. Well, actually, that means this should be 22 PSP. And 6yx is also 4 PSP if I'm right. Yeah, 6yx is 4 PSP, so it's like doing this. Is not worth it. Okay, that does 160. Well, what did the what did this do? 150. Okay, yeah, it's not worth it. This is a stupid idea. Yeah, because I can't get the whole JA, so it's not even worth it. Alright, so if I don't have the PSP to do anything but one move after JX, what would that one move, what would the most damage be? Definitely 6YY, that's your best bet. If you can only do one thing out of JX. 144. 148. Yeah, alright, it is 6YY. Now what if you have some PSP available, then it's 6YX into Bug Bite. It actually does. Why? Why does it do more? Dun, 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 dun. Well, this doesn't require a stack. What am I doing? Why does it actually do more? Huh. Oh well. It's staying. JX 3, 4. So this works when we have 8 PSP, and it adds 19. Alright, and if you have to just do one thing, you just do 6YY. And that does 148. Does not require a sword, and is... So like, if it's gonna shift, that means if you have 4 PSP left. Because this adds 7. Alright, so now on to raw specials. So the first and one of the few raw specials is 6AA. So the optimal really is my 6JR, JY2X, 6YX, 4Y2Y, 1A, Y plus B, which I'm pretty sure it was 223, but we're going to retest anyways. Yeah. This is really hard to do. 6AA is 4. And JX is 3, and 6YX is 4. So, it's 4, right? Yeah, 4. Okay, so 4, 3. So yeah, this needs 12 PSP, and it uses 11. So it technically uses 23 PSP. And there's the 6AA, hover XX, JY through JYX1. Oh. Never mind, just it is JY1. Huh. 220. That does not do 220. I was gonna say that does 208. It was just that the bug bite glitch in training that sometimes makes the damage all screwed up. Okay, 4, 8, 11, yeah, this is also 12. And then there's the 6A, 6YX, 4Y, 2Y, 1A, Y plus B. Scizo's a straight 200. And this only adds 8 PSP, so it works if you have 9, and it adds 20. $178. Same damage. Well, there's situations where, because 6A is it's a good range. It's got good range, because you have, like, you can. And considering the projectile itself is full screen, which this is a fun thing to do. It doesn't. It's almost full screen, but it's just because 6A has its weaknesses, and because it's a mid-high, so characters like Krogunk, he can just go under it. It's also kind of slow. You think about it. Yeah, it's 23 frames. It's as slow as this is, to give a comparison. That move and this move are the same speed. And this move has travel time, so it's even slower. Hey. Listen. It is not dead. We have a community of about like 400 people. Not including the randoms online that don't join Discords. To be fair, I think the main Discord has like 4,000 people? Something like that. $6,022 in the main Discord, and there are 1,200 online. So it's not dead. I mean, to be fair, you know that they're not playing Pokken all that, like, 24/7. I mean, I don't. I turn it on when I'm bored. Alright, you don't get any combo off of U-turn. Besides the follow-up, obviously. I wish that was actually useful as an ender, but it really isn't. Because that's one of his coolest looking moves. Barring, I was trying to do the U-turn follow-up. It was alive when it first came out. We had a lot of people from other games, from other fighting games playing it. Okay, he is actually in grab range off of that. I'm trying to find something he isn't in grab range on so I can test his car grab. Okay. Yeah, it moves him pretty far. To be fair, CA is... you kind of have to react to it and grab it. But if you block it, every CA is plus on block. Except a few, which are -8, which is safe. Oh, there is 1A. So before I'll do 1A on crit, which you just do 1A Y plus B. Because on crit, bullet punch launches, so you get a free bug bite. It's also as fast as this move right here, his 2Y. It's the same speed, so its usefulness is actually pretty good. So the big damage is 1AA super jump. The big damage off of any 1, 2, 3A is, well, okay, so for 1A, 1A specific, there, 1A specific, the only one that's 1A specific is 1AXX, 1A and then X Scizor. Which I need bullet punch to not launch. Okay, 124. And this is... it has 4 PSP. So the minimum I need is 7, and it uses 4. And it does not shift. So now we have the 1, 2, 3A. What do you mean? How do you punish someone if its speed is 19? There are a few moves, and there are a good amount of moves in this game that are -19. It's just that's not your best punish. This works from any version of Bug Bite, actually. It's gonna shift. There we go. Grabs have a lot of whiff lag. The idea is that 8X is a throw crush. So 8X always beats grabs. It's like in other fighting games there are moves that are grab invincible. 8X is basically that kind of move in this game. So let me set this up. So he's gonna 2X, dash, and then try to grab me on my wake up. Okay, well. Opponent settings. Command input replay. I can't be in the corner. So if I press 8X, well, that actually just straight up avoided the grab. Yeah, he's doing the grab too early, so the crush isn't actually happening. It's just avoiding the grab. Oh my god. I just have to I have to react to the grab with 8X in this situation now. Which that's impossible because grabs are 11 frames. Yeah, I'm just hopping over it. That's so weird. Well, anyway, a different idea is 2X. You see how that red hit, that reds? The same happens with 2Y, where it'll red the grab. It also happens with well, 8X just jumps over most grabs, which is weird. 1A does it too, where it'll crush the grab. I think 4X does. 4X is something we always wished crush grab, because you could dash cancel it and get a really strong punish. So like if I try to press something that's like 5Y, something that's like super slow, it'll freeze both of us. Both of us get stopped. But if you press a move that has the throw crush property, no matter what the speed, it will break through the grab. So like, go to Scizor's moves list, go to his standard moves. It's weird that homing attack doesn't say that it's throw crush. Does it actually not show you if it's a throw crush in this game anymore? Or did it never do that in the first place? Anyhow, they've sent you this frame data doc, right? Yeah, you linked me a page on it to ask me a question. If you see any of these moves, is he always the car? See any of these moves? Like, all right, let's find one. They used to say throw crush. Okay, here. 2X, it says throw crush right here. 8X, throw crush. 2Y and 2Y should say it. 1A should say it. And homing attack says it. But they automatically, if your active frames clash with it, you will automatically tag it. Like, see, my grab is the same speed as his, but because he went slightly before me, that's why his grab won. See, my 5Y wins because his grab was a bit early. 8X is supposed to crush it, but it just avoids it. Because he's airborne. Okay, there we go. That's the crush. So this is how you normally get a crit with 8X. And then you hold forward and pick up your combo. In the ground, yep. Drifted too far. Okay. 195. So that's the patented double bullet punch combo. Alright, so bullet punch and the launcher is 3, right? Yeah, bullet punch launcher is 3. JX is 3, that's 9, so this requires 10 PSP, which because Scizor doesn't have anything that gives 2, it requires 12. And it gives 21. So if you don't have the PSP to do a drop combo, you would just do that. If you have even less PSP, you'd skip the JY itself entirely, the JYY entirely. Which actually, if you're doing JYY, then there's literally no reason. If you're doing JYY, there's actually no reason to not go for the drop, because that means you have the PSP. That means you should have the PSP for the drop. Well, let's add PSP with 8X. Okay, well, no, there are situations where JYY is still useful. Okay, that says 169. Well, actually, yeah, this does require 12 PSP, and it actually adds 23. Because it's 3, 5, 8, 11. Because I forgot about so yeah, 3, 5, 8. So this requires a stack. This uses 8 PSP. No, it uses 12. Wait, why is JA shifting? Oh, it's not shifting. Okay. So it doesn't use 12 PSP, it uses 11 PSP. And minimum PSP needed is to get to the JX part. So 3, 5, 8, so I need 9. Then we're trying to figure that out, if this is possible. Yes, it exists! That hit so hard. It exists! Yes! Okay, I gotta equip that one. Get to see all the behind the scenes of me making a clip. And skipping this song. And re-listening to this. Okay, I gotta clip that one. That hit so hard. Exists, yes. Okay, I gotta clip that one. I knew it would work. I'm so happy. So that's 1, 2, 3. I have to test if it works off of any of the other directional A's, but it's JY 3, delay X 1, 1A, Y plus B, and it does 179. And this is There's only 6 PSP in this combo, so this works if you have 7, and there's never been a drop combo that works if you have 7. Okay. Meanwhile, if you don't have the PSP to do literally anything, you have to do that. Which that's not even worth the stack. You might as well just do this. 124 for no stack, or 134 for a stack. So that's technically a 2-3A specific. And that only adds 6 PSP. Well, it needs 6, so the minimum is 7. Which is the same for Scizor, so yeah. So you actually would do this, but it's worth it. It's a stacked at the same time. Like, Sam, if you're still out there, which I think you are, I'll show you what they mean by what we mean by counter pierce. So we're gonna have the opponent block and then counterattack. If I do 6YX, I'll get hit, but it isn't the greatest I'd test, but because the AI doesn't charge their CA. But if they're charging their CA, you get beaten out because 5Y isn't plus enough on block. Pierce and crit aren't the same thing. Now. See, that's a pierce. That's a clash. That he pierces me in this situation. And that pierces him, and I get a follow-up. You can also delay the follow-up Actually, even if you don't... Counter Pierce and crit aren't the same thing now. Just throwing that out there. The Pierce is... when in reference of two CAs hitting each other... In reference of two CAs hitting each other, it's based on which one hits the other one first, basically. But it's if you hit them with a move that has counter-piercing properties, which for Scizor, it's 6yx, that the second part pierces. This move pierces when fully charged. His CA pierces like every CA. If it hits them while they're in the middle of an armored move, it will pierce them. Which, it breaks through the CA, basically. So even if the move is normal type, but if it got counter pierced, see, there's only specific moves that a character has that counter pierces. Like for Lucario here, the only move that he has that actually can pierce counters is his own counter. He doesn't have any moves that pierce counters, but his own counter, which that's one thing, is that counters can pierce each other, which it's kind of hard to show off with the fact that, well, we'll just do this. We'll break his counter here, and then I'll do that, and that pierces his counter and also gives me a full combo. Alright, anyhow, we're almost done with the document. We just have to get CA. What does the CA have? The CA is 3. So 3, 7, that's 10. I do have a tab for burst. Field phase I don't really bother with because it's field phase. Combos aren't really that important in field phase. The only ones that you should know in field phase are like that. Don't think that works, but you've got instead of you going for homing, you can also do 6A. For a different, it's like a different knockdown. It's a slightly different air tech, I should say. That works, but it's hard to do. Yeah, it's also not worth the damage or the situation. There's also that which keeps the phase. Can you get... You actually can't get grab off of CA, that's unfortunate. So this is if you don't have PSP for the drop combo. Or... So this needs 7 PSP. So you need at least 8 to do it, and this one needs 3, 4, which is 7, 10. It needs 12 basically, and it adds 23. No, 22. Yeah. And then that's basically your follow-up if you don't have, if you can't do, like if the move that you're going to do after it is going to shift, that's what you go for. It's just 6YY. Yeah. You just need enough to do CA. And 6YY is also 4, right? 6YY is a need 4, okay. Alright, let's see if the drop combo... If the single drop combo exists from further ranged bullet punches. Please? Yes, it does. Alright, what? Please? Yes, it does. Well, exists from further ranged bullet punches. Please? Yes, it does. Well, exists from further ranged bullet punches. Please? Yes, it does. like how the... Can we stop repeating this song? Oh my god, repeats. Thank you. It actually did pick a song I like too. Alright, so now we're just gonna throw up the air to air JY. Holy moly, I thought that was gonna work. Yeah, okay. Can't do that. I want to get a JY3 hit. Yes! Alright, so JYYX R JYXR JY delay X 1A Y plus B, and it says 267. No swords. It does shift from 0 though. How much PSP is that? 2, 5, 8, 11. It really is 11 PSP. So now we need, if we can't do another JX, what works? Alright, yeah, go. I thought that was gonna work. Well, getting rid of the JY, the single JY part is like useless, because getting rid of the JYY part, I should say, is useless because it's only 2 PSP. So if it doesn't work with that, because he doesn't have, it's the only thing that adds 2 PSP in his moveset. Yeah, I think that was JYYXR JYX1. I just don't know how many hits of JY that was. But it did 231. I think that was 2 hits of JY. Oh, it works with 3. 239. Yo, this character is so much more fun now. I love this. I've always loved this character, but I just never really played him because he just felt kind of lame. All right, 5, 8. This one, I could do this with 9 PSP, and it adds 20, which means it's an auto shift anyways. Now, obviously, the godsend is if we can do which we can't because there's no way for me to drift. There's no way for me to drift with just the JY by itself. I have to actually go into X to drift. I have to be in hover to drift. I feel like I should just make the desktop audio 100. Because I have mine low enough to a point where it doesn't hurt my ears, but I feel like it's not even audible on the stream. So, okay, we'll just do the one where we can't do a bounce. Where we just do that. That one uses 3 PSP, and then there's one that uses the other one uses 5. So you got JYYX RJYA 161, and then you've got JYXR JYA 143. Either of these require a sword stack, and this requires 5. It needs 6 because there's 5 PSP there, and this needs 4. And this adds 8. And this adds 6. Okay. Oh. Okay, I think that's it for tonight, at least. So let me go dump this in the Discord. To be fair, I can shrink these comms quite a bit. Well, the only reason why I can't shrink the comms, yeah, is because of the text above. Which PSP document? Also, Lucario, please stop jumping. Yeah, no. Good. I mean, that one PSP document that I used to get these PSP values, it's not really the greatest because a lot of those are wrong. But if you go on the if you go on the frame data one that we have here, you see there's one of these columns right here. It says PSP. So considering I don't need it anymore, I can just go to the normal layout. The combos that have more than 12 PSP, it's just because of Bug Bite adding 12 by itself. Because Bug Bite just automatically adds 12, so like if Bug Bite hits raw, it just auto shifts. So like if you use either the Release A version, I'm not holding it for long enough. This version, it just auto shifts, and if you like whiff 2 or 3A, or if you just do 1A, the grab doesn't combo here, and it just auto shifts. Moves do not do PSP if they get blocked. The only moves that do PSP if they get blocked are grabs, because grabs beat block, and grabs always shift. Most grabs. A few characters that have grabs that don't shift are like Machamp has Submission, Garchomp has Sand Tomb. Those moves can't shift. I believe Acrobatics from Decidueye can't shift. But ones like Blastoise's Water Pulse, that can shift. Scizor's Bug Bite shifts. Like, grabs don't add PSP in any way. They either shift or they don't shift. The only grab that does shift is Decidueye, that can shift and can't shift, is Decidueye, because he can alter the grab by holding the A button or not. Moves that only hit partially they consume full PSP. What do you mean by partially? Because there's not really a lot of moves that can do that, per se. Like, if the move does PSP, it's generally one hit, or the two hits can never, nothing can ever make the two hits fall out. Like, this is like one of the few examples is, if you try to do 6YX on a juggle, sometimes it works, and sometimes it's just too high up. So in that case, if that hit by itself hits, that will give PSP, but the middle hits can never hit and whip and make... Wow, I am wording that so badly. JY doesn't have any PSP. Yeah, Scizor's JY doesn't add any. The only JY that does is the follow-up, the JYY. That adds PSP. This is either a Persona character or a Ruby character, because I don't recognize this. It's Ruby, okay. This is one of the few themes that doesn't actually sound any different in 8-bit. super hard, actually. Okay. I think I'm good for tonight. I want to get some sort of sleep for work tomorrow. Or today, I should say, because technically it is Saturday. So I'm going to call it there. Thank you for hanging out, Sammy. I hope I gave you some sort of help when it came to certain things in Pokken, like, and specifically towards Scizor's combos, but thank you for hanging out and being here for 2.5 hours. But I'm going to head to sleep so that I can get up. I'll be ready for work tomorrow, or today. I keep saying tomorrow, I really am tired. See ya.